What a beautiful charge!
Whoa,
This is
what
fine. Oh my god! What a save! Okay.
And we are back with more of the Ori All Skills Tournament. This is Flux. I'm accompanied here by Kyrfel, and this is going to be Elojimmini versus Xeirla, which is going to be an interesting race. And
yes, it is.
But yes, it's now what makes this interesting is between the runners' best times, both in the race and in just their PBs in general. This is probably one of the most lopsided matches that there is. Elo being the second place runner on the leaderboards at all, and Xeirla being pretty new to the game, but with so it's going to be interesting to see, to say the least. We're going to be looking for both runners to be performing to their best, not necessarily competing against each other as much as against themselves. Now, what makes this interesting, Elo is the fastest English runner of the game for this category, and Xeirla is, like, I believe Xeirla only learned to run within this past month. Xeirla also has a pretty unique role scheme. He runs on a keyboard and a Wacom tablet with the pen rather than using a mouse.
Yeah, and so that's a really interesting thing to see. He's been doing this all of his runs so far, and plans on doing it into the future.
Yeah, and he was inspired to speed run the game because it has really amazing art, and who can argue with that?
I'm sure nobody could.
Yes, definitely one of the most artistically, musically, it's just really great presentation all around. And so yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Obviously, looking at that difference in PBs, I don't really know how to say it nicely, but Elo is probably going to be comfortably able to win, but the race itself will still be very interesting to watch as it gets underway. And looks like Xeirla is a little bit slow on starting to file, but so we'll see how that.
Oh well, that's not very much. There's not much of a difference between them.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah, it's not much of a difference. So, and as this early part of the run is happening, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. Also, I believe I'm getting confirmation. I was actually not quite yet aware. Apparently, Elo is now tied with world record and not just second place. So that is
very, very close to a tie. There are milliseconds between.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very, very slight difference getting to sign. Just there's very little in the way of extra optimizations that can be done in this early part of the run. So it's Xeirla having a little bit of trouble with that first Frankie fight, but gets through it in the end.
Yeah, so only putting a little bit behind can still catch up if if everything goes to plan. It doesn't take too much extra damage.
Yes.
Taking the time the opportunity to destroy some extra spores down there, so we won't have to later. Saves a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm. And Elo has been taking some damage throughout this early area, but is able to get a bit of a damage boost through that slime, and is now at Ghost Door and is through. Now, Elo opting to skip this first possible health cell, which for a high level runner, that is not entirely unexpected.
Yeah, we saw this in the previous race. So
Yes.
it does save almost 4 seconds to skip that cell and pick up the faster ones later, but the amount of safety that you get along the rest of the way, which Xeirla took a little bit of a depth approaching that health cell, so it will actually help the runners to survive throughout the rest of the game.
Yes, having that extra safety health is nice, because you do have to pick up the health at some point anyway to be able to even complete the run. So picking it up a little bit earlier while it's a bit slower can definitely give you a little bit of extra cushion on some of the very damaging stuff that happens later on in the run.
And now that Elo's picked up wall jump, he's going to just be heading back the same way he came in, while Xeirla makes his own way to wall jump, just having a little bit of trouble with slimes being in the way, and that quick death that he took has just put him just a little bit behind. And then leveled a little bit too early on the way down to wall jump, which means he'll have to deal with these brambles on the way back.
But Xeirla getting to wall jump. So Xeirla getting into wall jump, and Elo, on the other hand, is making his way down into Blackroot Burrows, which is also going to be interesting. Does a little bit of doesn't save anywhere, skip the cutscene, just all in a day's work. And
another consequence of leveling early is that Xeirla's XP route might be a little bit messed up, so he'll have to try to adapt to that in Blackroot Burrows so he has the correct experience for the upcoming Frankie Walk.
Yeah, the experience route is the strictest at the very start of the run, and once you get past Frankie Walk, it's a lot more lenient. So we'll see how Xeirla adapts to be able to accommodate that. Having a bit of a time opting to kill the slimes there in that little elbow, just to make sure that they do not cause too much damage, which is a decently safe strat for if you're not confident just boosting through them. Elo doing a bit of a quick save and reload here in order to make the cycle more efficiently, and gets it.
Xeirla took a death, unfortunately, on the way back to Blackroot Burrows, and that's put him back at wall jump. Sorry, and
yes, that is going to be that is a pretty costly death. And
Elo, however, as he's about to he's about to pull the lever to get the cutscene, there is actually some new trick that has been discovered very recently. We saw it in the last race as well, but we're going to see it. Elo do it in this one, where he will stack a couple of cutscenes and do some blind movement out of Blackroot Burrows, saves a second or two. But it is new, and so we will be interested in seeing it.
Yes, indeed. It's a new strat that was just discovered today, shown during the previous race by both runners, and Elo here will also be attempting it, and Xeirla taking a safety save there, which, considering he had a death coming up right here, that is probably a very smart play. Gets through, and now you see Elo here doing the cutscene trick we were talking about earlier, stacking the cutscene triggers, gets through in the middle of a cutscene, and is able to then move in another cutscene while getting dashed and do some blind movement to get pretty much all the way out of Blackroot Burrows before that cutscene ends, which is very, 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 very impressive to watch. And even with the very marginal amount of time that it saves, it's still faster than skipping that darkness cutscene entirely, which I believe is probably what Xeirla is going to do. So you can see for comparison when he gets to that point.
And watching Elo again,
and I say that because blind movement is yes, we're watching Elo with the funky walk very nicely. First try, and is into the
magnet. So he was doing a magnetless funky walk, which is a little bit harder, and it's a little bit trickier, but it does mean that he can pick up quick flame instead, which helps with destroying some enemies in the way, such as the Ginso mini boss.
Yes, and Ginso mini boss, and also that slime that he had to get out of the water.
Okay, so Elo got the fast grower cycle, which was, good, but Xeirla has become stuck in Blackroot Burrows, which is because the orb fell down as he jumped in to pick up this orb. He's too close to the orb for it to then teleport back to him, so he'll just have to reload the save, which is really unfortunate. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that I don't think I've seen that kind of soft lock. That is really unfortunate to see. And Elo doing some more blind movement, getting the double jump tree, and blind movement is definitely a really tricky thing for newer runners to learn, which is why I was saying I don't believe we expect Xeirla to be going for the new strat in Blackroot Burrows, but taking a death on the spikes too, and Elo getting first try grotto skip makes that look easy. It's not nearly as easy as it looked. And gets that rekindle save, skips this cutscene, avoids the boulders. Elo here is just tearing straight through the game.
Yeah, he's on a roll.
Little tiny bit of a misstep on getting up there, but manages to get up just fine, gets the water vein as Xeirla is still going through the first part of Blackroot Burrows.
Yeah, he took another death to the spikes, which is understandable since those platforms, there's a very specific time that you need to jump between these platforms so that you can actually make it.
These platforms kind of bobbing up and down are deceptively difficult because it doesn't look like it's that hard to make the jump, but with the way they kind of just bob up and down and the speed that they do, it can be kind of surprisingly tricky to time that.
He makes it this time and got stuck again? No way.
That is
really unfortunate, yeah. Elo making a good cycle, the spinning crushes on the left.
Yeah,
it's
getting in.
Sometimes pretty difficult to get over getting infinited in Blackroot Burrows, but I think Xeirla can, once he makes it out of here, I think he'll be going just a bit smoother.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Elo is into the Ginso tree, which is the first and more or less only dungeon we really do anything in this run.
Okay, Xeirla took a save in Blackroot Burrows now, so you won't have to go back and do that again. So past all that.
Yes, and Elo's showing off some nice telehops to get through that second room of the Ginso tree, and is now just moving up through, and takes a quick death, but it wasn't intentional in order to set up an early cycle on this puzzle room here.
Yep,
Pushes the block through.
Mr. Asmus cycle as it's known, which is said to save less than 1 second, but it is still a time save. And you can see Quick Flame really putting in the work here. Really,
yeah. Quick Flame, and just this makes this mini boss look like it's nothing. And without Quick Flame, that can take quite a long time to plink away at the health for it, because that boss is definitely got a lot more HP than most other things that we have to fight in this game. At least not necessarily with this.
Xeirla was perhaps a little bit too aggressive on the cycle platform manipulation, so did have to wait for the next cycle. But he is looking to be getting out of Blackroot Burrows now.
Yep. As Elo picks up the bash skill, which definitely one of the most unique skills in not just this game, but any game of this kind of gameplay, is you don't really see a skill quite like what bash does. And everything does a little double bash to skip right on up through to break that wall, and he's now onto his key dupe. Again, double bash, lots of double bashing, which is very interesting to see. I mean, Elo is on keyboard and mouse, where double bashing is actually potentially feasible. It's not so much on a controller play scheme, but even then, a lot of keyboard and mouse players won't do double bashes quite with such regularity that we've seen Elo here blowing them off. So that's very impressive to see. So
a couple of things that happened over on Xeirla's screen while Elo was doing the Ginso tree was he did not skip the darkness cutscene, and that is most likely because he is also not skipping clean water. So Xeirla's route does do the Ginso escape, which I'm sure we're all looking forward to, and also just having a little bit of trouble exiting Blackroot Burrows, but he's out now, and so he'll be onto the Frankie Walk. And having Magnet here does make it a little bit easier and a little bit faster. So, speaking of skipping clean water, that is exactly what Elo is doing right now.
Yes, he's coming up on the early swamp entry, which, after some more blind movement and a bit of a death there, got a bit hasty on bashing that frog. And yep. Now, based off of previous things, yes, he is doing the double bash setup for this trick as well. Does that and gets through very nicely.
Xeirla made it through the Frankie Walk, but then died in the water in the Death Gauntlet, unfortunately, so has to go and do the Frankie Walk again.
Yeah, that is rather unfortunate. Unless you get a lucky energy drop from either the Frankie or from another enemy later on, you cannot save there until you get through to the next energy cell at the end of the Death Gauntlet, which is rather unfortunate. And definitely makes the Frankie Walk a lot harder to learn than just the Frankie Walk itself. Ooh.
Xeirla took a little bit of damage from the Frankie, and since he needed to take a damage boost through the spikes to get past them, he did take another death to that.
Mm-hmm. Also, it looked like did a bit more damage to the Frankie early than is recommended, and yeah, it looks because the Frankie can get stuck in the same brambles, and you'd have to shoot him again to lure him out. So if you don't leave any energy, any health left on him to take that extra hit before you get to this last section, it
Real quick,
can.
on the left side, we're seeing Elo's Kuro cutscene skip. Gets it first try, easy.
Yep.
No,
That
no
is.
problems or surprises there.
Yep. And Elo also skipping the second optional health cell that happens right up here in the Spider Coves. Does a little bit of a nice stomp cancel, it looks like. Stomp stall. I get those two tricks a little bit confused sometimes, but gets through out of that area, away from those instant kill spikes below it. And he's now on to Charge Flame Tree.
Yep. And Xeirla is experiencing a little bit of an infinite here in the Death Gauntlet. Unfortunately, it takes so long to walk the Frankie over, otherwise this wouldn't be quite as much of a time loss, but
Yep.
you know, here's another attempt, and let's see if he can get it. Still no energy drops. That is only a 10% chance of energy dropping there, and if you don't put the if you don't get the XP and level up and put the energy in the door before picking up the crystal, then well, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But fortunately, it looks like Xeirla got unfortunately got.
Bugs.
I'm sorry. That is. I spoke too soon, but that is an unfortunate death to that crusher there.
Elo making quick work of Valley of the Wind now, doing some more double bashes again, as he is going to do fast stompless right now.
Yes, and that
Okay,
coming up.
shot.
Lines up the shot.
Took his time in aiming the shot, but that just means it's more likely to go through, right?
Yep.
And
Grabs the cell,
no
gets the shot.
there.
No problems on fast stompless.
Xeirla taking another attempt at the Death Gauntlet. So you can see, getting past the Frankie, no problems. And
we'll see. Ooh, gets an extra health cell. Two extra health drops there. Which.
And get the energy, please save. There we go.
Yes.
No
Yes,
more having to do that Frankie walk.
And now Elo rocket jumping up to these birds, set up for Sorrow Bash, which, well, with how well he's been playing with the rest of this run, and he gets through no problems.
Xeirla not attempting the fast grotto cycle, which is totally fair. That is very difficult. Oh,
Ooh,
all right.
And Elo going.
Well, Elo is doing the crazy juggle, which is a very difficult trick where you need to stomp out of your charge dashes at the right time so you don't hurt the frog too much, and it is faster than the Terror Break route, and also much more difficult.
Yeah, and he's doing
highest level runners will do this.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult trick, and what it leads to some interesting route difference in that he'll be getting the Sunstone before grabbing the charge jump skill. He'll be getting charge jump on the way back down through Sorrow Pass.
Yeah. So that route is about 8 seconds faster, which is pretty standard for this game.
But it is definitely not an easy trick to pull off. So.
All right. Xeirla
Gets
trying the blind movement out of double jump,
the
but
good
getting stuck in the pit with the
soar.
Frunky.
and is on the way to the. Yeah, and that is why blind movement is.
So
Not
there's another screen here for a second. That storm pull is very, very well.
every newer runner decides to go for right away because the wrong handle. Oh, that was very bad. Something to the which remember, he generally has 380 attack now. It's an instant kill, no matter how much he has. But
Alright, so
Xeirla
Xeirla's just
gets
succeeded
clean
at
his first try, but still did not take too long on that at all.
Yeah, and Elojimmini, they're making really short work of Misty Woods. This is really... It's fun to watch someone playing Misty Woods because of all the charge dashes and donk cancels and rocket jumps and everything that the players will be doing inside it. It goes by really quickly and it's quite a spectacle.
Yeah, especially for a really high level runner like Elo, because there's a lot of really advanced.
Alright, now he has to exit Misty Woods, which is easier said than done, but
Yes.
I like to see Elo just as quick on the way out.
Yes. It's looking like Elo is on pace to get a low 29.
He managed to catch himself just in time there. It wasn't quite close enough to Frankie, so if he had done a charge dash, he would have face planted straight into spikes and died. So that was a good to see. Recognized that.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a safety save here. It does mean that he'll have a little less energy, but he'll level up on the mini boss in Misty anyway, so that's not too much of a problem. So Xeirla's approach to the Ginzo tree is, you know, just having a little bit of difficulty, but past that point now, so. Elo doing a great quick kill on the mini boss there, known as a Bang Zoom, because we have good names for tricks.
Yes, very.
So Xeirla picking up this ability cell here that we, he picks it up for the Terror Break later on, which is not the route that Elo took, so that's a slight divergence for the future. Elo on his way now into the lower Blackroot Burrows to pick up the grenade.
Mm-hmm. Takes a quick death there to set up a glitch where that door stays open, and is on his way down through those lasers nice and quick. Does charge dash to get to the bird, and is now doing a quick cutscene skip, which skips the longest cutscene in the game. Takes a bit of damage there getting into grenade tree, but fortunately, trees will fully heal and replenish your energy, so. And with that.
And Elo did make the Yoka cycle coming in, so he'll probably be going for it. Well, after a grenade jump. That's so good to watch. He'll probably be going for the really fast exit here, where he. Well, you just saw it then with the rocket jump.
Yep. That is really impressive.
Oh, what trial is Xeirla going for the telehops right now? This is really difficult. We don't see the newer runners going for it very often.
Yep. Elo picking up his first extra health cell, which is this is the latest opportunity that you can start picking them up, and the most optimal one as well, as far as doing the fastest time. Because that health cell you got in lower Blackroot, and this one right here on the way into Horu Fields take the least time to go out of your way to get.
Yeah, since you're going right past them anyway, take less than a few seconds.
Going straight through Horu Fields, another grenade jump. Oop. Second try gets that one and is up to Mount Horu, and it will be attempting door warp. Frame perfect trick. One input, one frame, and you just have to do it. We'll see how it goes for him.
Still making his way through the Inso tree.
And Elo gets his first try door warp.
Nice. So yeah, Xeirla's actually making pretty good time through the Ginso tree right now. And onto the mini boss, you can see now the difference between having quick flame and not having quick flame is quite significant. It is a bit RNG dependent, but
yeah, this boss does have some RNG to it, where because it can choose to spawn in any of, I believe, 5 locations, and
yeah, and depending on where you
want it to spawn on the rightmost one.
So anyway, Elo is about to do his swim through the water. He can only take 4 damage in the water, which he succeeds in doing. And onto the grenade jump into the final cutscene. And he gets it first try. And so Elo will be taking the win here with
yes, that is.
We're looking into a mid to high 29
very
final time.
Very nicely done run. Excellent run. Mm-hmm.
And Xeirla has picked up Bash, which means it is now time for the Wacom tablet pen.
Yep. And Elo has finished the run with a time of, I believe, 29:37 was what I believe I saw.
We'll get confirmation on that real quick. In the meantime, we can watch Xeirla's screen for the rest of the run, and we'll get to watch that Ginso escape coming up, and also this Bash aiming with the tableau, which is
okay. We are getting confirmation that Elo's final time was a 29:40,
which is an incredible time to get during the tournament. That's the run, and we'll get to watch that.
Oh yes, definitely an impressive time. Meanwhile, Xeirla, we are getting confirmation Xeirla got a gold split on Bash there.
Yeah, Xeirla having a couple of those splits right now, so that's saving some time lost in the Blackroot Burrows. So it's still.
I saw an interesting. It looked like. Did it seem to me that? Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure, but. Anyway,
right.
Xeirla is coming up onto the final part of the Ginso tree, which Elo did not complete. Elo left the Ginso tree instead, but we'll be trying another rather difficult trick. This one is one that
Well, it's called core skip, and it requires Xeirla to level up in the correct
Yes.
position. So this
Yes.
frog drops 45 experience, and Xeirla is hopefully less than 45 XP away from a level,
And
which is so
is
close,
not.
actually. He did
Yeah.
drop a little bit of experience from the mini boss he just killed, but he should be able to just kill one Frankie here and make up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that should cover it. But this is one of the trickier parts of this route that requires a timed level up, which, as I said, if you do the Frankie walk, if you do the Frankie walk and the clean waters, you don't have to worry about getting this time level up, and the experience is much more lenient as a result. But as it is, time level up, Skip's having to do half of this west room of Ginso, and now Xeirla is on to the Ginso escape, which is definitely one of the most memorable portions of the game to a lot of players.
Yeah, I'm sure we all remember dying here dozens of times.
Now, what happens is that... Yes, lots and lots of times, and I believe we will be having an interview here with so whenever that's ready, but all right, we'll be having the interview after Ginso Escape. So, meanwhile, just again, I already mentioned this, I believe, earlier, but the music in this game is fantastic, and the Ginso Escape music is definitely one of my personal favorites. But on that note, we are now having Elo here for an interview. So, congratulations on your run. How are you feeling right now?
Thanks for the congratulations. I'm feeling okay. It was pretty average run overall. There was a lot of mistakes in a lot of areas. So yeah, it was just nice to get a 29 on the board. So I'm pretty good position-wise for the brackets.
Oh yes, definitely a good time to get in a race setting.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's put you into one of the very top positions on that leaderboard. So into the seeds. So the new cutscene skip that was at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
So you haven't had a lot of time to practice that, but presumably you were confident enough in it that you could do it.
Yeah, I played about with it for 15 minutes or so, and then did a couple of runs before the streams. So the setup is very reliable. It's actually easier to do than the cutscene skip that we used to do. So it's just getting used to the blind movement. And once you've got that down, it's pretty much, I wouldn't like to say a free trick, but as close as it comes.
Yeah, the blind movement is definitely pretty much the only part of that actually would cause a whole lot of issue.
Yeah, I agree. But once you know that, it's all good.
Yep.
Yes.
And Xeirla, very, very quickly bringing back to that run, getting another trick, which lets you get out of the swamp without draining the water, which you don't need to worry about that on the route that skips cleaning the water, but still very nicely executed for a trick, and not one that will be seen as much in this tournament. So very nicely displayed by Xeirla. But yeah, so any other questions for Elo? And Xeirla getting the Kuro cutscene skip, which is not not an easy thing to get for a new runner to the game. I'm sorry if the interview seems a little bit. Yes.
That's fine. Hello. You have 2 matches left now. How do you reckon you're going to approach those? You have 3 matches left.
Yes, and one of them being against me tomorrow.
Yes, it
Which,
is.
congratulations on your win on that one.
Anything can happen in a race.
Anything can happen, but
the probability is probably against you, I would have to say.
yeah.
I've kind of settled in with the 29 that I got this race, so I'm just happy to get that down. So I'm just gonna kind of go full out on the next races and try and at least get a better time than Ronnie. Although that is quite a task. He did a Goliath of the run yesterday, so that's my real goal. I would like to get a world record in a race, but probably won't happen.
Yeah, definitely always good to work for self-improvement no matter who you're running against.
Yes.
And that will be my mentality going into the race as well. I won't worry about trying to win.
Yeah, you just got to run your own race and do what you can. Try and improve.
Yes. Yes, so very, very interesting. Will be very interesting to see how those further races go. And good luck to you on all of the races that you have left.
Thank you very much.
So, Kyrfeld, do you have any other questions to ask?
Not well. Just thanks for joining us for the interview, Elo. Congratulations. Good luck.
Yes. Good luck. Now, as far as Xeirla's race, Xeirla did get another gold split on Charged Flame, and has improved from being 7 minutes and 50 seconds behind PB at double jump to now being only 2 minutes and 5 seconds behind after Charged Flame. So we'll see if that kind of pace can improve and see how Xeirla can do for his final time on the race.
Yeah, Xeirla, even though he lost a little bit of time in the Black Root Burrows, he's certainly making up back. Going towards the Stompless area, I don't believe Xeirla's going to go for the fast Stompless. But
yeah, probably not. Like I've said before, fast Stompless is a trick that if you miss it even once, you lose more time than you save by doing it. So it's not something that a lot of newer runners will go for until they are very confident with their movement in being able to succeed at it and very confident in their movement in other parts of the run. So not surprising that Xeirla did not go for fast Stompless there. Probably a wise decision on his part. Yeah,
and it doesn't save very much time, to be honest.
Yeah,
like just about anything in this game, it's just the deaths and the optimization on the movements that save the most time. So you can still get respectable times without doing things like this.
Yeah, without doing a lot of the fancier optimizations, you can still save a lot of time just by, like you said, not dying. And now Xeirla getting Feather here and is coming up on Sorrow Bash, which is going to be very interesting to see because Sorrow Bash is one of those tricks that newer runners especially, but even experienced runners will have a lot of difficulty with.
Yeah, seeing the rocket jump off the bottom frog, but accidentally just smashes straight into it.
Yeah,
that's okay. Another try.
Get another try. And
Xeirla's made up quite a lot of time now on his PB.
Yes.
So it's still behind, but like way closer than earlier in the run.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Little bit of a wonky setups. Ended up taking a death just trying again on setting up the birds properly. And there are a bunch of different possible setups. The one most newer runners to take and the one Xeirla did, and got it second try, which is very nice. Using
It's looking a little
two
bit
birds
sketchy,
rather than
made it
just the
like
one
that.
like Elo used.
Yeah, if
And-
you don't do it in double bashes, then it's certainly a lot easier to do the double bird setup.
Yeah, and Xeirla taking a safety save here in Sorrow Pass, so very, very good decision there. And ooh, the frog shot is just a little bit low, so Xeirla will have to try and set up that rocket bash once again, or rocket bash, rocket jump. I
And
cannot
that was
speak.
a well-placed save. I think perhaps Xeirla knew that this part might give him a little bit of trouble, so put the save right there so he could try again immediately, which is
Yeah,
a good idea.
and you have to time the rocket jump very specifically because, like the frog for the swamp entry trick that Elo did, the frog's shots here have a maximum height value that is set at the moment that it fires. So no matter how much you bash or double bash the shot, it can't go any higher than a certain point once it is launched.
Yeah, so we're just trying to get the frog real angry and then be as high as possible before he shoots us. And
Yes.
succeeds that time, so that's Xeirla will be making his way up further.
And we'll see another route difference here. We'll be going for the charge jump tree first and then doing Terra Break, which we alluded to earlier. It is a much easier trick to execute than the crazy juggle that Elo did, but still saves a good bit of time over going through it the intended route. And
Taking a couple of deaths to this cave full of, let's call them spikes, and that's fine though because he put a save just outside the entrance. So
yeah, not very nicely
Lost
placed safety save, not losing as much time as you could have.
Now Xeirla does have 5 health as well, which means
Right.
that he can take one hit on these spikes.
Yeah, I believe they do 4 damage.
They do.
So
So for Elo, that's really risky because, especially with the stomp that he did into this XP orb, you know, if he had missed anything, he would have died instantly. But Xeirla has a little bit of leeway with being able to take one hit.
yes. Oh, and that is
was
what I
missing a
was
key
thinking.
then.
That is what I was thinking. He forgot to pick up the 4th keystone from the Ginso tree after doing the key dupe, only picking up 3 and when he entered the door. I wasn't sure if that was something or if that was just a route difference from doing the clean water skip, but yeah, he is missing a keystone here, and that is definitely unfortunate. There are other keystones around that he could be getting. Oh, and he does now have one.
That's because he key duped at this door,
Ah,
which was really a convenient setup for having missed a keystone earlier. Means you don't need to go pick up one of the other 3 that are lying around here. So.
Yes, that is actually a very nice little backup of just doing an extra key dupe here, and it's not going to matter that he now has more keystones than he needs because it's just whatever gets him through this door is what works. And actually, no, it's not going to actually help at all later because not only are the keystones in Misty, those are also tied to unraveling the maze-like nature of the Misty Woods, so you are not able to just skip the keystones in that part of the game, so it probably won't save much time having 2 extra keystones here. But Very nice
Wow.
adaptation there on Xeirla's part.
Indeed, yes. So Xeirla is successfully through the terror break and onto the cutscene skip here at the top at Sunstone. Hopefully that goes according to plan, so we don't have to watch it.
Yes, missing a cutscene skip, especially on one of the longer cutscenes like this one, can gets the cutscene skip. You know that it counts because the Sunstone text popped up on the screen. So
Yeah, so just a little bit slow exiting out of the menu, perhaps because that pop-up was unexpected, or perhaps that's just how Xeirla does it.
Yep, and getting a nice advertisement for the upcoming sequel to this game on the Elo's screen, which
It's just a teaser for things to come. Xeirla taking a death on the way out of
Sorrow Pass, which
Sorrow Pass, but did rekindle the save on the way down, so it doesn't have to go all the way back up to the Sunstone.
yes, which is it's definitely fairly easy to take an unexpected death getting out of this, getting out of Sorrow, because you have to go back through all those 4 damage spikes that you came up through on Sorrow Bash, and there's still no really nice way to get around them. You can glide and double jump, and Xeirla throwing Willem off the cliff. Very nice meme there. And also setting up that a meteor kick off of that bird, which is the opposite of a rocket jump. Same inputs, but with the enemy below you, and it basically just sends you going straight down as opposed to straight up.
Yeah, faster, and a stomp uses an energy, but well, we have the energy to spare here, and that saves a lot of time, so we go for it. And into Misty Woods now. So, like we said before, this area has a lot of tech that involves dashing, and as you can see, Xeirla was actually going for a rocket jump there, but unfortunately got crushed by the very Frankie that he was trying to use. I guess he was just taking revenge or something.
Yeah, but fortunately had placed a safety save right there before entering Misty Woods. So
Just deboosting through some spikes that you can't really get out of.
another
No energy, okay. See if Xeirla picks up this one. Yep. So now he has the energy to do charge dashes, which should make things a little bit easier.
So, And one of the things about Bash that we didn't really mention, and they're opting to forgo the rocket jump and just take it a little bit safer. Little intended, but through there pretty nicely. Using charge jump we have access to at this point of the game, but because we went things out of order in the speed run, we do. So makes getting through Misty Woods even nicer.
Imagine doing Misty without charge jump. That is a conundrum. So
Yes.
about to pick up another keystone. So even though Xeirla does have keystones already, as you mentioned, you do need to pick these ones up to change the layout of Misty Woods. So he will be doing that.
Yeah, as I said, he does technically now have enough keystones to open the door at the end of Misty Woods, but he has to pick up the next 2 to be able to even get to that door, so the point is moot.
Yeah. And Xeirla is going through this scary path with all of the spikes. These ones are really spikes.
But yeah, and the fact that they're moving around, that always kind of creeped me out a bit when I was playing through that section. And not even just because of it being a little spooky, but because it's like they're moving, the obstacles are moving around, so it makes navigating just that extra little bit harder. Fortunately, not too much harder.
that 3 HP, oh sorry, that 4 or more HP definitely coming in handy there. Oh, but
Ooh,
then
rocket jumped right up into spikes.
yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. But good thing to note is that Xeirla has almost completely made up any time loss, and is now only 17 seconds behind his PB. So let's see what happens there. Keeping an eye on that.
Ooh, another death.
Yeah, Misty Woods is a really easy place to get infinited in, which
Yeah, definitely, and which is, and even with having the extra 5 HP at this point of the run, rather than 3 HP like Elo and other top runners often have, it's still really easy to take a lot of damage really quickly, because pretty sure spikes here, I think spikes here do 3 damage per hit.
they do, which so even just getting 1 health cell is a lot of safety in this area.
Yeah.
And getting 2 is even more safety because you can get it back more easily by doing things like saving.
Yes.
Which Xeirla just did, so
yeah, and that is actually another good thing to talk about for during this part of the run, is that especially for newer runners where dying is a lot more likely to happen just because of less experience with a lot of the trickier movement in some places like this, safety saves are a great idea to make basically anytime you can afford to, for 2 reasons. First, you have a save, so if you do die, you don't lose as much time. But second, one of the skills that you level up on your way to getting your air dash and your charge dash is a skill called regroup, which actually lets you heal a bit of health by creating a save. And at this point, and once you I believe you actually do upgrade that skill also before getting charge dash. So by this point in the run, creating a save will give you back, I believe, 2 HP. So if you start taking damage and get to a place where you can make a save, making that save will make it so that you are so that you have to be able to avoid dying in the first place. All the health in the world won't save you from those lasers, though. They are instant kill.
yeah, and if you jump at just the wrong time, then you do get stuck in between them, which is a little bit unfortunate, and what did just happen a little bit earlier. So Xeirla
that is actually kind of one of the ways the game actually kind of trolls you a bit, even in the casual, because there's a way that those mushrooms that switch whenever you jump are set up that you can easily just fall for the trick and jump off of one mushroom, and then you're stuck between 2 lasers with absolutely no way to recover it. Pretty tricky on the game's part. You're supposed to dash or just run and jump from midair, because midair jumps do not switch the mushrooms. But it's definitely easy to just forget that while going through quickly, and yeah, nice little charge dash there, getting through, floating through these spikes slowly downwards, but at this point getting through without taking any more costly deaths is more important than optimal movement. Taking a bit of damage there. And
we'll see if Xeirla goes for a save. No save here, but I think he's perhaps going to go for a save. So he died to this mortar worm just a little bit ago, which
and gets the save after that last keystone.
Be just after it. So that guy doesn't always get in your way, but when he does, it can really ruin your day.
Yeah, that is a pretty tricky little ledge to jump on, because sometimes the mortar worm just decides to pop out and give you no room to stand.
They were taking the safer route up the meatball path, which is good, because the rocket jump requires actually a bit of setup, and in addition to being pretty hard, is pretty dangerous, and you can just kill yourself.
Yes.
So
taking a bit of a damage boost to get up through there to get to the mini boss early. Drops safety save before it, and
it looks like Xeirla's going for the individual, like kill one and then kill the other, which getting good value out of that save, which is good.
And
perhaps going for the
one thing to note is that charge jump and charge jump and charge dash can be used as attacks rather than just for quick movement, and do a lot of damage to that mini boss when you're not technically necessarily expected to have them yet by that point. So that makes that mini boss go very smoothly, especially since you have that charge jump to be able to, and charge jumps don't even cost energy, so you can just charge dashes do, charge jumps do not.
Xeirla has now made it out of Misty Woods as well, so he'll be heading into Blackroot Burrows once more. Didn't seem to have any trouble with exiting Misty just then after the mini boss, which is good.
Yep, exiting Misty Woods going very smoothly and he's making his way back into Blackroot Burrows, and going through a bit of a muscle memory lapse there. Almost started going back through Blackroot Burrows as if it were the beginning of the run rather than the end of the run.
Yeah, I think
definitely very easy mistake to make, because those are the two specific ways you come into this place, and it's very, very easy to forget, because you're still definitely, your main goal is going down, taking an intended death there, get through, open that door, keep that door will now stay open. Oop, taking a death on those spikes.
Yeah, and there is a cycle down here, the Yoka cycle that we saw Elo get earlier in the race, but yeah, Xeirla's not going to go for it, I think.
You have to be very precise to be able to make the cycle there, and even more so specifically just being fast. You have to have been fast for a pretty precise, being pretty fast, pretty precise. It's not something that newer runners really particularly try for.
That was close. Managing to jump up above the laser instead of falling into it, which was close. Yeah, again, lasers in this game being instant kill, like we have said before, is not an easy. It can, even when you're good at the game, it's like you can lose a good bit of time just hitting those lasers. And one more cutscene skip, getting through here, avoiding the racist dad cutscene, as we like to call it. Yeah, we don't like to watch it though, so.
Yeah, it is the longest cutscene in the game, so.
Alright, and now Xeirla has every skill and will be heading towards Mount Horror.
Well, or at least the longest cutscene that we see in this particular run.
Yeah, so. Oh, going for the grenade jumps as well.
Ooh. Might as well, and gets.
Hey, there we go.
Gets through there. Almost goes too far with the grenade jump.
Okay.
Manages to recover that.
Xeirla putting in a bit of swag here. Yeah, so if you remember how Elo picked up extra health cells in Horror Fields and in Blackroot Burrows, Xeirla doesn't need to do that because he cleaned the water in the Inso escape, which means that it won't hurt him in the final escape. So that does save a little bit of time. He already has 5 health anyway, so it is.
Already has 5 health.
I'll be surprised to see him skip the others.
Yes. Although there is still some amount of extra safety, but because the water won't be damaging him. He won't have to worry about having a bare minimum of health to get through. So as long as he survives and gets through the final escape, he should be fine. Now, going up here, I believe you do have to go above that tree if you get the Kuro cutscene skip, or it plays again there. So
yeah, that's right.
So good on him for remembering that he got that skip earlier. And going through Horu Fields, which there's a lot of things that even with 5 HP or potentially more, you can get instant killed by. Ooh, killing the Frankie with the Baneling and getting them both out of the way at the same time. That is not necessarily fast, but definitely nice to see.
Definitely safe. Yeah, one of those things that can instantly kill Xeirla is that Baneling, so getting rid of it is good. So onto Door Warp now, everybody's favorite trick.
Yes.
Not uncommon to see misses on this trick, but Xeirla gets it first try, so no need to worry about it.
Yep. And now Xeirla is into the final escape, which again, having 5 health and not having to worry about the water, it should go pretty cleanly. He went for a grenade jump earlier, getting through getting it out of grenade. We'll see if I don't know if he will try the end grenade jump, because that is a lot harder to get right than the simpler grenade jumps just elsewhere in the route. And
Yeah,
if you mess it up, it can soft lock your game and make you redo the final escape. So there's
something else that's interesting to note is that because, unlike Elo, Xeirla can afford to tank a couple of hits on falling rocks and things because he doesn't need to worry about the water. So no panicking if he does accidentally take a hit.
right. That said, he still does only have 5 health, so taking any more than 1 or maybe 2 hits would still be pretty bad. And through the water, avoid spawning Kuro. And jumping up here, bashes off a rock. Gets another one. I'm guessing from that movement, we're not going to be seeing a rocket jump, and he was just waiting for another rock to be able to actually bash up to the end. So,
yeah, he didn't
yes.
do a grenade jump in previous races, so not too surprising to see he didn't do it now. It is definitely a better idea than soft locking. So
Yeah.
you can also waste your energy on the grenade jump anyway, so if you're not really consistent at it and you just lose all your energy trying it, then you've just lost all the time it took to attempt it. So
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's not the kind of trick that will be in every runner's repertoire, especially considering, yeah. I'm guessing Xeirla just wanted to finish out the run and leave it at that, rather than having to potentially do the final escape again if his angle or his position on that log, the wall specifically, is slightly off. But
Yeah, that's right. One frame perfect trick is enough.
yeah, indeed.
So
And
Xeirla
now
will be coming in with a 106, a mid 106. So
106.32. So, yes, that was a very nice race both of our runners, and we got to show off what both higher level running would look like, as well as what might be able to expect to see from someone who's more new to the run, and very interesting to see the differences in the route and how things worked out for both of them. Now, it looks like we will not be having an interview with Xeirla, so once everything is put in and everything is updated, we will now see how these will go. And as we said, Elo still has two more races left. Xeirla is finished, having raced all 4 of the other runners in this group, and Elo, on the other hand, will have a couple more runs, including one tomorrow against yours truly here, which we already discussed. Yes.
Yeah.
And with that is going to be it for this race today. Our next race will be tomorrow afternoon at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Time, and will be between Cutie-Roo and the Sparrow, which is going to be on Speed Gaming 3, I believe, is what it seems to be restreamed on. So, hopefully we will see you all then. And this has been Flux and Kyrfel on commentary. And thank you to all the runners. Congratulations to both of them on the runs. Thank you to the stats people and our restreamers and our clips. Just everyone helping out behind the scenes. Couldn't do this race without you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I've got nothing coming up on Speed Gaming 2 just next, so we'll see you some other time.
So, see you then.
Because they died twice there. That would have been very unfortunate to go back to Dash there.
Oh yes, that would have. That would be a very first time every time.
Very nicely. Cubby coming up on it just as well, right on the tails.
And
Gets
also
it
gets it first
nice.
try. Again, pretty much it's going to give Cubby a little bit of another chance to catch up just a bit.
Oh, and now taking a very costful
Yeah.
death.
3 missed shots, and
That gives Cubby a very big chance to come back here.
that is fine, because we did not clean up the water, so let's see.
Oh,
Taking a death to the water, like I said.
barely not making it.
Yeah, you lose 1 HP fish AI because you actually have to manipulate the fish to be able to get through and with the bare minimum.
Yeah, you can't move too fast or too slow in that area. And Cubby gets the grenade jump, so it's also through.
Yes, and it looks like this save and reload here in order to make the cycle more efficiently, and gets it.
Xeirla took a death, unfortunately, on the way back to Black Root Burrows, and that's put him back at wall jump. Sorry, and water. That is exactly what Elo is doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's coming up on the early swamp entry, which after some more blind movement and a bit of a death there, got a bit hasty on bashing that frog.
More likely to go through, right?
Yep.
And
Grabs the cell,
no
gets the shot.
problems there.
No problems for on Fast Stompless.
Xeirla taking another attempt at the Death Gauntlet. As you can see, getting past the Frunky, no problems. And onto the grenade jump into the final cutscene. And he gets it first try. And so Elo will be taking the win here with
Yes.
had missed anything, he would have died instantly. But Xeirla has a little bit of leeway with being able to take one hit.
Yes. Oh, and that is
was
what I
missing the
was
key
thinking.
button.
That is what I was thinking. He forgot to pick up the fourth keystone from the Ginso tree while doing. I'm guessing from that movement, we're not going to be seeing a rocket jump, and he was just waiting for another rock to be able to actually bash up to the end. So
Yeah, he didn't do
yes,
a grenade jump in previous races, so not too surprising to see he didn't do it now. It is definitely a better idea than soft locking.